As you're thinking about laying out things in Canvas, you're probably thinking about the design of it if you'd like your page to, look a little bit better than just some links and words. While some of you may not mind that, others, I found a way to really use the grid tool and do so effectively. So you're going to use the table, insert a table, and what I've done is I usually do about like 3 wide, 3 long, and then a few down, because what I've done is I've created pictures, and I've got other videos on how to use Canva, how to use PicMonkey, and you can create buttons. And what I've realized is while you're doing those, hold on, I got a phone call. All right, that was a Canvas question, so I just answered a Canvas question. Anyways, back to what I was talking about, grids. I have learned that posting a table in a page or assignment helps to organize the images. So I've created a bunch of custom images that I want to use. So I'm going to place my grid, and I'm going to leave this alone for right now. And I'm actually going to highlight these 3 here. You can actually combine grids, like those 3, I want to make one grid. So to do that, you just need to always go to the table, and you're always going to find your menu options in the table. So in this cell, I'm going to merge those 3 cells. If you've used cells in Google Docs, if you've used cells in Word and Publisher, this is all very similar. So you can merge those 3 cells together, and now it's one cell. So I'm going to place a picture there. So I've already uploaded my images in files. So under files, hopefully you've gone to files and you've gone in and you've added anything you possibly could want in your files. I've been doing everything in my main files, so it's not in necessarily my classroom, because I do a lot of these things in other classes, so I might want to reuse them. So I want them to be available for other classes. So I've got folders for all the different things, and I can upload them. So upload them there. I think I've talked about that in the file video earlier. So let's go back to my screen, and I'm actually going to go to the pictures, and I'm going to import a picture from Canvas because that's where I uploaded it, from my files, and I'm going to do like Canvas homepage buttons is where my buttons are. So I got a bunch of square buttons, and I've got my banner right here. And so I'm going to place the banner, but before I do that, the banner size is really big. I do not want it to be that big, because watch what happens when I do. Well, it fits in the thing now, which is great. But I don't want it to be that big. I want it to be a little bit smaller. So I'm going to delete the image and actually show you what to do when you import the image. You can actually change the size right down here. I've been doing 600 as my length, maybe a little bit bigger. What you want to do is pay attention to the size of your pictures. So for example, when you're in Canva and you've got your images here, pay attention to the size of it, because you can use custom dimensions and like do a px, and if you make your document like you want it to be just 210 by 210, that's a perfect square, and it's going to show up nice and small and not too big when you design. So pay attention to those numbers and those sizes, because by doing so, you're going to be able to adjust those when you're placing it. So I'm going to make this 640, and that's going to change that automatically, 196. So the 640 is how long it will be, and the 196 is how long it will, or wide it will be, or how tall it will be. And I'm going to update it, and there it is. So it fits it just a little bit. It's not so big. And now I'm going to place more pictures in here. I'm going to place squares. So embed your image, go to Canvas, and then my first button's right there. And here's the thing, look how big it is. And if I place, I don't like that at all. So I'm going to go back in, and I goofed on that. I didn't mean to double click it. Click it once. 500 and 500 is a little too big. So I'm going to just change it to 210, and since it's square, it automatically changes size and update. That's a little more, acceptable. Now it's a little funky right now because I haven't placed my other images. So let's do it again. Place a picture, go to Canvas, next picture, change it to 210 for me. I mean, you can do it whatever numbers that suits your page. Update. There's my other page. Let's do one more. I'm going to go to Canvas. Got my folder already open. That's kind of the nice thing. Once it's open until you're done using it on this page. Click again, 210, and there, all the pictures are in. It has this nice little space here, and this is a little too small, I've noticed. I didn't judge it quite right, so I'm just going to stretch it just a tiny bit, like there. But I want to try to do this to keep my spacing in between everything nice and even. It just looks nicer that way, and that's just me talking. So if you don't care about the spacing, that's not a big deal. So I'm going to fix that and make it just a little bit bigger. There we go. And then the spacing's all there and perfect. So what you can do then is also center this. So click on the grid, center it. You usually have to highlight it. This part's not easy. There you go. Just if you like click on the side up there, it'll highlight all the things. I like to center it. Here you go. And then I still have more grid space, but I'm going to save it. And what you're going to see then is you're not going to see the grid show up. Instead, you're just going to see the spacing that happens. And I don't like this spacing. Do you see there's some a ledge there? So I'm going to edit a little bit more. And I'm going to just click it over just a little bit more. There we go. And center it. It's already centered in the box, so save it again. And it's going to, see, that looks much nicer. You know, it's not perfect, but you know what? The spacing in between the grid is nice, and it just looks clean and neat. So if you want to use the grid to make your pages work a little bit better, I highly suggest you using the grid and then making sure, there we go, I had a funky space up there. Let's see if that did. And making sure see, the spacing is so much nicer that way. So use the grid, and it allows you to space things out better. And when you do so, I would pay attention to the size of your image. And if you don't want to replace the image, you can actually click and hold and drag, and you're going to see that number grow or shrink if you're really careful. So click and drag, and you're going to see the numbers change. And you can actually adjust, change it to 213 on all of them. I like to delete it and place it again because sometimes I'm fighting with that number. See, right now I'm fighting with it and I can't get it to 213. So anyways, that is how you can use grids and images to really make your pages shine a little bit more. So again, happy canvassing.